What's up? What's going on? How's your week been? How you doing? How's your family? You know how it goes. We just trying to keep it all together. I have been a little bit under the weather. This flu bug is crazy, and it caught our baby girl Carson. Took her out for about a whole week, poor thing. And I thought that I had escaped it, and it seems to have gotten a hold of me, but the severity doesn't seem to be as bad. So I'm on the rebound and wanted to come and share with you today. Before we get started, I'm gonna start sharing my lipstick shades choices with you guys. I love lipstick, like all kinds, bold, red, purple, nude. So I am a lipstick connoisseur, and a few of you have asked me about my lipsticks in my direct messages, so I'm gonna start sharing those with you. This shade is called Affluence, and it's by Colored Raine. It is one of their satin cream lipsticks, and yeah, I will put the information in the description of the video. So this one is Affluence by Colored Raine. So I gotta be honest, I am a little bit nervous about sharing on today's topic because I feel like if my mom watches this, she is going to be horrified. But the title is not misleading, but it is a little, it's a little extra. I am not by any means saying that you shouldn't worry about the cleanliness of your house or your home, or not worry that it looks a mess. But I do want to talk about priorities and choices, and how at certain points in our lives we have to prioritize those things that mean the most to us for that season of life and what we are ultimately trying to accomplish for that season in life. So yeah, back to my mom. Her home, all 4,000 square feet of it, is company ready. I'm talking home and gardens, photo shoot ready at every second of every day. She is meticulous about how she keeps her home, has always been that way since before I can remember, and you could literally like lick off the floor. That's how clean her house is every second of every day. I have found myself getting discouraged and just making that my point of comparison or my judgment for my own home, and sinking into this place of feeling that because my house doesn't look like that every day, that I'm somehow failing in one way or another as a mom, as a wife, as a homemaker, as a Proverbs 31 woman, just feeling like I'm falling short of that mark. And then I had to realize that's not the season of life that I can perpetually be in or maintain right now. I have two children. I call them babies, and even though they are far from that right now, I have a 5-year-old son, and I have a 22-month-old daughter. And when we say busy, I'm talking busy every second of every day. Neither one of my kids have ever been real TV watchers. The only time my son watches movies from start to finish is when he's at somebody else's house. Like, they'll send him home and say, oh, we watched a whole movie, had popcorn, and Kanan usually ends up falling asleep. But that doesn't happen at our house. Like, to even get them, either one of them, to sit down and watch a half an hour TV show doesn't happen. They have both always been super active and all over the place, which is what I like. That's how they learn. That's how they engage. That's how their imagination is spurred, and that's how their brains learn how the world works, is when they're active, when they're up, and when they're doing things. So they are both super active, and we often have toys everywhere all the time. If I wanted my house to always look like my mother's, I would have to solely dedicate large chunks of my time to cleaning up after my children every day, all day, because it never fails. As soon as we get the house to a place where I'm like, okay, like I feel good about it. Like as soon as we get to that place, there are stories all over the place once again, and the process starts all over of picking up after them. We are now getting to a point where Kanan can and will understand that he needs to put his stuff away at the end of the night before he goes to bed. So I'm thankful that he understands that it's his responsibility to do that, but that's at the end of the day. And then we start all over again the next day. So needless to say, my home is not company ready at any given moment. It just for where I am and for where me and my husband are and what we are attempting to accomplish in this season, it is not high on my priority list to have my home looking spotless every single day of the week. That being said, priorities, we have to understand that if we don't properly prioritize those things that mean the most to us, or those goals that we ultimately want to see accomplished at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, it doesn't matter how much we get done in a day. If we don't put those things that we say mean the most to us in the top 5 slots of our priority list, we will still go to bed at the end of the day feeling unfulfilled. So if one of your goals was to write a book or start a blog or finish a series of books or do things that are going to further your business, step out into entrepreneurship, if you aren't daily doing something in the top 5 of your priorities to get closer to that goal, you are going to continue to feel unfulfilled at the end of the day. Your house could look like $1 million. You could have cooked a meal that made, your kids want to slap somebody. It was so good. But if you aren't working towards those other things that you say are more of a priority for you and where you want to see yourself in a few months or next year, you're still going to feel unfulfilled at the end of the day. I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine about another mutual colleague that we have. And she was saying how, I think what this other particular person struggles with is identifying their 1 through 5 and not understanding that 6 through 10 is less of a priority. So it's that just really spoke to me. Identifying our 1 through 5 and making sure that we are daily doing things to accomplish the goals that matter the most, which are the 1 through 5. So if you have weight loss goals, if you have fitness goals, and that's in your top 1 through 5, you can't go 2-3 days in a row without working out. It just doesn't work. If losing weight and getting to a body image that makes you feel comfortable is high on your priority list, you've got to carve out time for the gym. My recommendation, as you guys know, is always first thing in the morning. If you have to get up a whole hour earlier, do it. Because once you get well into your day, the hours keep passing, the responsibilities keep adding up, and then you're home, and then there's dinner, and then there's the kids, and then there's the other things you have to do, and then you start all over again the next day. So making sure that if fitness is in your top 1 through 5, you've got to find a way to get it done. And then, not saying that anything outside of that 1 through 5 is not technically a priority. It absolutely is. It's just not as important or does not trump anything else on that 1 through 5. One book I was reading was talking about the Proverbs 31 woman. In the Bible, that is the just meticulous outline of what a God-fearing, family first, just, the ultimate picture of a wife, what it should look like. But this book was saying, coming to the realization that this woman that is outlined in this passage of scripture was not all of those things at the same time. Understanding that seasons come, seasons go. There will be a time in my life when I'm able to have my house look like my mother's. hopefully. Like, that's the goal. That's the goal anyway. But understanding that right now, having two very small children, while trying to literally build an empire with my husband, as I'm also managing corporate clients of my own. I have two very large corporate contracts right now for digital media consulting. That takes up large chunks of my time during the day. I'm going to meetings. I am out of the home for large chunks of the day. So understanding that because I am in that season where we are in a season of building, that not to say that my home isn't a priority, but having it look spotless and the stainless steel on the refrigerator shining is not in my 1 through 5 right now. It's in 6 to 10, and I make sure that it's not filthy, it's not dirty, it's not unhealthy. We gonna be all right. So like I said, this is probably going to horrify my mother, but you've got to let loose those comparisons that will literally cripple you if you allow them. Comparisons to other people's progress, comparisons to other people's 1 through 5. Like, your priorities are your priorities for a reason. So your 1 through 5 shouldn't look anything like anybody else's unless they have the exact same goals as you do. So stop the comparison, the constant looking at other people, judging where they are up against where you are. It's not healthy, it's not good for you, it doesn't accomplish anything. Heard the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. It really, really is. And understanding that most of what we see, especially through social media, is people showing the best of their best. Like, most people don't post the tough times, the hard days, the days where you don't put on a stitch of makeup. Like, most people don't share that. So understanding that what you are seeing is a sliver of what really happens in their everyday real lives. I had a friend from high school message me right after I had posted a picture last week, and she was so complimentary and saying it was so inspirational that I always managed to put makeup on and look put together and fabulous every single day. And I laughed out loud. And I hit her back. I said, honey, like, as we speak, I am in the grocery store looking like a complete hot mess. So although I was super appreciative of the compliments, I never want to paint the picture that I'm just out here killing life every single day. It doesn't work like that for anybody. Like, I'm thankful for the days I can pull it all together and look like something. Like, we'll take those days, right? But there are also days where I look like a hot mess, like who shot John and forgot to kill him. So understand that comparison really is the thief of joy. Understand that you've got to, in addition to setting those goals, those priorities, you've got to designate the 1 through 5, prioritize those appropriately, and then set the 6 through 10 and understand that whatever falls in the 6 through 10 will get done, but it certainly doesn't trump the 1 through 5. So there it is. There is my my rant for the week, my sharing with you about this crazy life. My blog is about faith, family, fitness, the host of things in between all of that, and making it all fit. So if you have something that I said resonated with you, please comment, like, share your own stories. We are in this together. It's so heartening and heartwarming to hear from each other and feel that we are not alone in this. So please share. Please subscribe. I would love to have you. I appreciate you taking your time to listen and to share these stories of life with me. You know what I'm gonna say? Keep pushing. You've got this.